Hey there viewers, Sun God 2009 with another video today. I'm still upset about the Panasonic board replacement. Came to a abrupt halt. I was going to do a video on it, replacing the motherboard on a Panasonic computer, but the idiots that designed it decided to ruin it for me. Look, well, let's not let that bother us down. Today I'm going to show you I'm going to explain to you the performance lag on a Windows operating system, whether it's a computer, it doesn't matter what computer it is. Right here, as you all can remember, is the Lenovo ThinkPad W510. One of my computers, well, supposedly my favorite computer, but my least favorite right now, because it is not that fast. But regardless, nonetheless, one of the most common questions that have been asked by the people online or the customers out in the real world is, what is lagging the computer the most? There's a lot of factors, and there's a lot of videos out there of how to speed up the process and stuff like that. But I'm going to explain a couple of things that could be the reason why your computer is going slow. One of them could be the obvious. It could be you may not have enough RAMs in the computer. The other one could be the hard drive, because that's usually what slows it down the most. And some of them could be not enough processing power. The processor that comes with this computer is just not powerful enough to deliver the task at hand. So those could play into the factors. But let's just say you do have the computer and it is powerful. It has everything. For example, this one, it's not perfect, but it'll work. It has a Core i7 quad core running at 1.6 gigahertz. I'm looking to upgrade it somewhere in the future if I get the money, of course. It has 6 gigs of RAM, and it has a 320 gigabyte hard drive, which is slow, but it has a reliable Western Digital hard drive, so at least it's reliable, right? That could be the reason why this thing is slow. Now, I have tested this with an SSD, and I gave it to a friend of mine to try it out. He still experienced lag with his computer, and therefore it didn't work out, so his computer got back to me. But now I'm going to explain, okay, if it's not the hardware issue, well, what about software? There's a lot of things that could play into that. As you can see, one of the most common issues with Windows operating system, whether it's 7, Vista, 8.1 or 10, is their appearance. That eats up a lot of resources, and it can be a pain in the butt. Unlike, it all started from Windows XP actually. Windows XP had that beautiful, clean looking feature which outbeated the Windows 2000 all the way back to 95, I believe, I presume, or NT. But the part is the Windows 95 era. The Windows 95 era is one of those times where it used less resources because it didn't have all that fancy features, the fancy look. The appearance did not look anything like this. So right now I have a Windows 7 desktop, and as you can see, it's an arrow effect. They actually started this off in Windows Vista, and I'm going to pretty much imagine that it definitely did take up quite a lot of resource right there. This is a virtual machine. so it's going to be very difficult for me to see how the graphing is going here and there, because this thing for whatever reason likes to freeze up. But let's try to fix that, shall we? Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, but anyway, if you want, so one of the ways to help increase the performance speed is turning off the arrow effects, and that will actually end up releasing a couple of resources from memory. Let's show it to you right now. We go to personalization, then go to, you can go to Windows 7 Basic, which will give you the basic version of Windows 7. Now, for any older machines, I'm pretty sure that they don't have the graphic card to support arrow effects. You would get the Windows 7 Basic right here, basic look. If you don't want to use the basic look, it will still reduce a little resources, but I think most likely it will be the Windows Classic that will reduce some of the resources here. Just see. Yeah, it's 38. But anyway, let's go to the Windows Classic. Just hit the Classic button, and you got the old Windows 95 style classic look, except it's Windows 7 type upgrade. It's not as what it used to be, but they're trying to keep the classic up just a little bit, but modernize it more. But yeah, as you can see, it did take up a little bit of resources there. I gotta figure out how to fix that later, but yeah. Now there's another way to fix that. There's another way you can do it too, and that is, let's go back to Windows 7 arrow effects, which is going to increase our resources. The other way you could reduce it is, let's close this out, go into the start button, hit the start button, go to computers, or you can go to the control panel and then look for system. You can do this, or you can go use the shortcut and right click on computer, go to properties. It'll take you to the same thing, system, and then after system you want to go to advanced system setting right here. Don't worry about that. Right now this is a virtual machine, so we're doing everything on a virtual machine. Then we go to settings. Okay, after we go to settings, we are going to select, right now it's set to let's choose what's best for my computer. So everything here is already selected already, but we're going to modify it as our own, and we're going to say you're going to select adjust for best performance. So hit that button. It's going to turn everything up, especially your thumbnail. So be warned about that, in case if some of you complain, oh well, I can't see my thumbnail and all. Well, there's a box right here that says yeah, here it is, show thumbnails instead of icon. Just be sure to check that off and you'll do that. You're just going to eat up a little resource, but it's still going to be fine. Click apply, and bam, you go back to the old classic look again. The only thing that won't change is the wallpaper. That might use up some resources, so be sure to turn that part up manually. You're gonna have to do that. It's the way Microsoft designed it. Unfortunately, you're not going to have this classic look in Windows 8.1 and Windows 10. Why? Because the idiots at Microsoft, yes, I'm calling them idiots, the idiots of Microsoft took away the classic feature. I guess to them is irrelevant to some modern users such as myself. And yes, I am old school. I won't be ashamed to admit that, but it's true. but there's no reason for you to take away the classic feature. I mean, I kind of find that disappointing. But I digress, right? I digress. So we're gonna push OK. We got the classic look. We're going to I'm going to turn that up. You know what? Let's find out if by doing that, if I did any changes to the setting, or if the setting gonna remain the same. Yep, it's gonna remain the same. Nothing's gonna be touched. That was one of the keys I was looking for. I was hoping it didn't have to be anything complicated. Well done. Okay. Now, the next issue would be the number of applications you would run on this computer. It could be any loads. It could be running Office. It could be running your internet browser. It could be anything. So let's do that right now. Let's start doing what we do at a normal computer, of course, right? So let's go ahead and go into Word. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can use the Komodo's task manager, because I think it'll make everything easier. The darn Windows task manager doesn't want to work. One of the things I like about Komodo's is they have a task manager of their own, where you can look at what's going on in the background, and you know, some of the processes and everything like that. It is eating up a lot of resources as always. Oh, come on, man. That's a lot. That's a lot it's eating up. Yeah, this will make things a little easier. So yes, I am seeing a lot of well, I won't be able to talk through that, but yeah, we're burning up a lot of resources just by running these applications. Okay, hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta do something. Okay, I'm back. So well, I had to head off for a minute to see if I could fix this, but I can't fix it, unfortunately, for now. Yeah, well, it's on a virtual machine, so it doesn't matter. You won't be able to get the accurate reading like I wanted to, but so the application running in the background, yeah, it will eat up a lot of resources. In fact, you know, let me see if this will work. If this works, then I'm gonna be a lot happier with. Oh yeah, this one works. The task manager, for whatever reason, doesn't want to work. Okay, all right. Yeah. So it eats up a lot of resources with the number of applications you have running. That can cause performance issues. I have seen computers at a point where people just leave things open, and when it idles, it still have to pull a little more resources so it can maintain some of the programs, because if it doesn't maintain it, it's just gonna have to cut right off and stuff like that. Because remember, we have a volatile memory on here, so that is one of the contributing factors to it. But another thing is it can also be a hard drive thing as well, because hard drives can also cause things to go slow. That's why people have switched to SSD in this day and age, because it's a little faster. However, you gotta remember, even with an SSD on, it still has to it still needs a couple of resources to keep it up while it's idling. So that's what's going on. And yes, we can see it's going up to 89% physical memory. It's eating up a lot. So now let's close all this, shall we? Let's close every one of them. I don't care about that right now. Gonna close all this. The resource allocation should go down. But again, most likely your antivirus will be the one that's going to be chewing up most of the resources on the computer. So that is another factor involved. Now, if we were to close it, it should release some of the resources it's chewing up. So let's try it. Let's close this out. I have a Komodo running on here. I love Komodo because of some of the features it has. But let's close that out. And of course, yeah, you will expect to get a Windows warning saying your antivirus is disabled. You need to re-enable it. Yes, that's just a warning. Don't worry about that. But you should see some kind of a drastic improvement. But I will explain the last thing that could cause this thing to go slow in a moment too. Now, there's another reason why the computer like this could be lagging or could be losing performance, and some of them have to do with hardware, but others have to do with hard drive being one of it. I have mentioned that. And let me give you an example of what. Let me go into my physical machine. As you can see, this drive is almost full. This drive right here is almost full. Well, how did that slow my computer down? Well, let me get into the outside world and show it to you. Okay, we're going to use this running hard drive as an example. I'm not worried about that noise. But as you can see, as the disk spins, this read head right here writes data onto the hard drive, okay? As soon as it's done writing data onto the hard drive, one of the things it's going to do next is it's going to scramble, it's going to put data all over the platter, but once you're doing defragmenting or whatever, the most area that it will access faster is this area right here, this middle area right here. Over here will be the slowest access point. So once your drive is filled with data, it's going to get full. It's going to first fill out this layer, and then it's going to go over here all the way up. That's where things start to get slow. Right here, right at this point. That's where things get really slow, and then you start to notice a performance lag. But once you get rid of some stuff that you don't really need, and perhaps if the drive does its own maintenance itself, then you will notice that some of the data will be moved right back down here, right between these guys right here, and that will give a faster access time. But an SSD since it uses flash memory, it doesn't need this moving component to do all that. So that's what makes it faster. You're not going to experience a lot of lags out of that, but however, yes, it will be filled up because it is a flash drive style memory. So that's a different story. But this is a mechanical drive, and some of us still use mechanical drive to this day. It is slowly becoming obsolete, but it is still a good working drive, and it does what it's supposed to do. and also data recovery as well. But again, when files are stored at a certain location, the access time will vary. Because again, like let's say your file is located over here, okay, within a, whether your drive is a 5400 RPM or a 7200 RPM, when the read head goes over here, it's able to access the files a lot faster here than it will over here. And it doesn't matter how fast this thing goes, if it's over here, it's still going to have some delay time of accessing the file, because the entire spindle takes 1 revolution per minute to reach to that certain point where the drive should access that particular track. And that is why you would experience some slowness off of a mechanical hard drive. Now, flash memory is a different story. It is stored in separate chips or NAND, as you would agree, because some of the flash memories are kind of like this, but different. So let's get back to the video, and I will explain how to fix that. So to alleviate all of that, normally some people would do it. They would right click, they would hit disk cleanup, and it will clean everything. But I sometimes find that not useful, because it doesn't always get rid of everything. So it's best to get rid of some things manually. All this thing does is get rid of temporary files, even update files, and it will remove all that crap. But other than that, it doesn't do a lot of, it really doesn't provide a lot of help. So the smartest thing to do is, go in, delete whatever you don't want. I'm not going to do it on this one, because this is just used for storage, and I'm using it for a virtual machine. I might have to find another drive to use it on, or another drive that has enough space to do it on. That will be my best bet. I mean, I can't really do anything with this one, but this goes to show what you would do in that worst case scenario if your drive is all filled up. Delete some stuff that you don't need. After you do that, you should notice a drastic improvement a little bit in its access time and performance. Now, I don't recommend defragging. That's something that we used to do in the past. Windows should be able to do that on its own now. Yeah, it should. But that is another piece of the puzzle to why your PC could be lagging. Now, another part is, I did mention about an antivirus using up all the resources. You could have viruses on the computer. It is recommended you use any security programs such as Komodo or anything like that, or use a paid program. Either one will work. Should work. It's not perfect. I don't expect any perfection. You shouldn't expect perfection, because not every antivirus is perfect in any way. They have their own flaws. But other than that, they should be able to detect viruses and get rid of them. Like, for example, I chose Komodo because Komodo has more features than other antiviruses that I know of. It doesn't mean that others suck. It's just that I find some of the features in Komodo a lot more useful, like the inbound connection that will let you monitor some of the IP addresses and stuff like that. Then you have the Komodo kill switch, which is another feature that comes with Komodo itself, and you can use this to monitor for any viruses and stuff like that. You can run the analyzer, you can run the cleaning essential. It will tell you if it finds any threat. But through here, you should be able to see some unknown. You should be able to see some unknown items that are open. If they're open and you don't recognize it, close it right away. Don't even waste your time with them. Close it, cut it off, and use your antivirus to let it clean out all the system. Also shut off your network so the hackers won't be able to touch anything further. That's one of the things you do. But viruses can also lag your computer down, and at that point, just because you cleaned everything doesn't mean it's gone. So the other smartest thing you may have to do is back up all your stuff and do a wipe and reload, start fresh, just to save your life so you won't have any more infection coming in. It's the smartest thing to do. Now, the one and final one I want to put out, and this is very important, and some of you are probably going to debate on this, but like Microsoft likes to do too, but I'm going to tell you the truth. The final issue I see, and I've seen this a lot through experience, and I can understand, and I sort of get why Windows is lagging the most. One of the most biggest flawed, acidine pain in the ass issue that you're going to run in with when it comes to performance lag is the Windows Update. Yes, you heard me. Windows Update. Microsoft's Windows Update. Supposed to help give you the latest patches so you won't have to worry about viruses coming in and attacking you and all that other stuff. But Windows Update is one of the main reason, and I have seen it, one of the main reason why the computer starts to lag. Let me show you. We're going to go right into the task manager. We're going to go into the process. Let me make sure it sees all, because sometimes it doesn't. Let me enable this. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run the update. I want you to watch. Oh, that sucks. Okay. I'm not going to really do an update on this virtual machine because I'm going to be destroying it soon, but I'm just showing you. I'm going to run it right now to show you as an example. Okay, the Windows Update is running. Now we're going to look at the service host, and we're going to watch the numbers start to climb. The numbers will start to climb. You're going to notice that the number on the number of that is telling you the number of resources it is pulling out of memory just so it can complete its update. And you can see the physical use just spiked right up. It was at 39% and it went right up to 44%, and I'm pretty sure it's going to climb even higher and higher and higher because Windows Update requires a lot of resourcing power in order to download and install, not only resourcing power but bandwidth, in order to download and install the update to the operating system to patch some holes. This is one of Windows' biggest flaw in their design. I don't care if it was old or new, it was one of their biggest flaw, and it is one of the main reason why you will see your computer start to lag. I will promise you, start doing this to your computer, right? When you do the update, right click onto Task Manager, go into process, make sure you set this to show all process from all users. Go all the way down and look for service host. If you notice one of the number it's bigger than the rest of them, that is telling you right there that it's using up a lot of resources in order to perform an update on your computer. Now, can this be stopped? Yes, it can, but then your update will not be running. That's the downside, and it will not be able to send updates to your computer. It will stop right there and get in its track. But sometimes Microsoft have that little tool, and this is only in Windows Vista or 7. They have a special tool where, actually not a tool, they have a special way of reactivating and rechanging the configuration on its own. I believe Microsoft sent some kind of a update patch in where it will reset the configuration in case if you shut off the update service, so it can forcibly send you the update. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but it is annoying. But then at the same time, you're going to notice that your computer starts to lag even more, which in my opinion is stupid. But yeah, so I mean the other way I do it personally, me, I'm the computer tech, so I pretty much just go into run. I type in gpedit.msc and push OK. Well, let me show you. The first thing I do is to shut off the update, go into service, go all the way down to Windows, update, right click, go to properties, then click on this startup type, click disable, and click stop service. Sometimes it's going to have a hard time doing it because it's still running, and the other way to cut that part off is you have to right click on the service host, one of the service hosts that's using up most of the resources, right click on it and end the process, and that will cut everything off, and then the rest will fall in place. Then after the Windows update is off, then you go into the local group policy editor, go into system administrator, go into Windows components, go all the way down to where it says Windows Update, and then you have all of these up. Now, warning to the users that are going to attempt to do this: you may do this at your own risk. I am not going to be responsible for any infection or viruses that will contaminate your computer because you chose the decision of shutting off the update and disabling everything through the local group policy. I'm showing this to you for an educational purpose and showing this to you for what I do to my computer. So you don't need to copy. So pretty much they tell you everything like do not display. I would enable that, and then of course whatever it says enabling, configuring, and stuff like that, I would disable those. And after that, Windows will not be doing any updates at all. It's forever locked. It's forever turned off, pretty much, unless you're going to go back in there and default every value to where it says not configured. This is something they would do on a server and stuff like that. But yeah, this is something to keep in mind of. And look, process is spiking. The service or host is eating up a lot more resources because Windows is updating, and it's also putting everything in the restore point. This goes to show you this is one of the biggest lags you will find in a Windows operating system beside an antivirus and everything else. And it is unfortunate, but it is true. I'm showing you the truth. I can't make it up. And just to let you know, yes, I closed out some of the application. It will still use up a lot of resources if you run the application and you run the update. It will still burn out even more resources, and you're gonna wonder why your computer's going so slow. Well, now you know. It's not just hard drive and everything else. It is the update itself, and that is sometimes unavoidable, and it is unfortunate. But can it be stopped? Yes, it can. But then by doing that, you will run the risk of leaving a hole, just like leaving a hole in the tire. You will leave a hole in the system. Windows will not be able to send its update to patch you whatever security your Windows operating system needs, and therefore you are most likely susceptible to viruses. But then again, I don't think it's gonna matter in this day and age, because Windows is made differently than Apple and Linux. But this goes to show you one of the final and most asininely annoying issues with Microsoft Windows. This is one of their biggest flaw, and it is true, and I'm pretty sure Microsoft is already aware of it. They're not going to tell you that, because right now they're all moved to Windows 10, and yeah, everyone moved. They're moving to Windows 10. They're most likely focusing on its interface versus the flaws in Windows 10. I can't complain anymore. That will be a separate video and a separate time. But I hope this was very helpful to some of you guys. These are a couple of reasons why your performance is lagging, but also how you can go about fixing it on your own, how you could go about making your computer run a lot more faster, make it run great again. Yeah, I hope this video helped. Thank you for watching. If you want to see any more videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. And subscribe to my friend Duke Stay Toxic. And I'll continue making more videos as soon as I'm done having fun with this Aston Martin Vanquish.